And
Hi.
we have picked up a Richard and a Michael. Chen, how are you guys doing?
Pretty good, thank you.
Awesome.
I'm doing well. Glad to be here. Always nice to say things. So yeah, good to be here. Thank you.
Richard's in the chat like, I can't type enough.
Giving up on that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, all the unpopular opinions. So
all the unpopular opinions.
Get right in.
Oh, yes. All right, you guys have been blowing up the chat while we were on our sprint break. How did you guys do? Did you get things done, or did you just chill? Did you eat? What'd you do? We'll start with you, Charlie, and we'll go clockwise around. Barrett, Michael, and then Richard.
Well, it was a good break. I ran out of chocolate very quickly. And I went through my Instagram and I realized that I have not been as active on Instagram as I should be. So yeah.
I was also on the socials connecting, talking. So
yes, I love the photos that you took.
That's my husband. That's putting my husband to work on his good.
Oh, wow.
Love that new iPhone, sir. And
I love it.
Good heavy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, he did awesome.
I'll keep him.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I added a couple of banners so that we could get started on some more of these unpopular opinions. Some serious, some juicy. We shall see. Or we might just all agree with them and be like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That one's fine too. What? Why are we even here? These are all great.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. I disagree.
I will be contrary if necessary.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way,
anybody else do anything during the break?
I was actually just snarfing my dinner. I got in late. I apologize.
I have to write that one down.
We were doing the last round. We were like, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, exactly.
Both hands like that, huh?
Oh yeah. With the crown, being classy.
Despite
all right.
the time where you are, Richard, your lighting is amazing. Like, I appreciate the fact that I can see the color of your actual walls, and it's like, what, 3 a.m.?
Yeah, it's good lighting. Those books are popping back there. I'm drawn right to the books. I'm like, ooh.
Exactly, yes. Can we just read your books?
Yeah, we're just gonna look at Richard's bookshelf right now.
Yeah, have a look at the wall of fame of indie books that I've
nice.
Ooh.
I love that.
You can get this for free if you
sign up for his newsletter.
All right. Richard comes prepared, guys, and it looks all good. It makes you want it. So yes, he's doing something. He's doing things right. Yes, all the things Richard's doing right. All right, let's right off the bat. Here we go.
Oh, we went with the spiciest one first. Alrighty, this was mine.
Go Barrett.
So jealousy is the biggest problem among Authortubers, and we all try to pretend like it doesn't exist, and it doesn't happen.
I'm very jealous of Barrett's amazing success. So, yeah.
Well, I wasn't even talking about me. I was talking about watching other, like...
Oh, I was jealous because I don't know if anyone's getting me a crown for my birthday.
Oh.
And I was like, if I don't get a crown for my birthday...
the crown I can loan. That's what I'll do. I'll send it to every Authortuber on their birthday, and I'll send it to each of you.
Some people are twinsies. Yeah, some people are twinsies. So who's gonna get it on the twinsy days?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. I'll invest.
Virtual crown? Can you tell the difference?
You what?
We'll have to get one of those like filter crowns. So one person gets the real crown, and one person gets a filter.
Oh, the fake
yes.
I
filter.
can tell what the difference is.
This thing is heavy. Like, they spent some money on this thing. It's from a bridal thing, and it's no joke heavy and hurts.
Ooh.
Like, I keep moving it because I'm like, I'm gonna have brain indentions by the end of this 4-hour set. I don't know how a bride would do it.
What's it like to be royalty right now for you?
This is peak. So I'm at the peak. This is it.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, I think the jealousy just stems from the fact that we're all marketers because we're all on YouTube trying to get affiliated or monetized or whatever the terminology is. So at the end of the day, when you see someone else's subscriber, because during the pandemic, one thing that I realized is during the pandemic, everyone got so many subscribers because everyone was at home. And so during the people who, got really popular during the pandemic, they'll post videos, not necessarily in AuthorTube, but in other areas too. They'll post videos about how they got so successful. And they won't mention that was because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Situation.
Goes without saying, you'd think.
Yeah. So you're just...
But new people coming in, they think, oh, I'm going to find out how they became really popular. And why is this not working for me? Because they're not saying, oh, I did all these things. Oh, and it was a pandemic, by the way. For new people.
To become successful, you need to develop some sort of deadly virus, then release it into the world, and then something, then profit, then subscribers.
But it's already been done, right?
Yeah. So we need something bigger. Next time's nuclear fallout.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that. That's true. I think the other thing that happens is we get this idea when we see someone do really well that it's overnight. And you forget all the other stuff that people did to get to their point. Like the other day, for whatever reason, I was on Kate Kavanaugh's channel, and I went back to one of her early videos, and holy moly, y'all! Like, if you want to see how far people come, go and watch their first or second video, and then go watch where they're at now. And so that's important to keep in mind too. Like when someone catches a wave, they've been at it a while usually, and like they got their system down, and they're just riding the wave. So
and sometimes they'll delete the first video. So you're left with only the more recent stuff, and you're like, how? But then you realize that there's all that back.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I always try to tell people how I got so many subscribers, and it was by accident. It was not by hard work or perseverance. Unfortunately, it was by fluke. Someone found me in my daughter's stories and just started reading them, and YouTube like that, and but that was way different from what happens now, So sometimes it's a fluke, and like now that I'm actually trying to do it, I'm not blowing up like that. I'm like, what?
Right. One thing I'll say is that I know BookTube and AuthorTube are sort of always kind of thought of in the same sort of sentence or idea or whatever. But the thing you have to remember is that BookTube is probably about 10 times the size of AuthorTube.
Yes.
And so if, someone, let's say, is getting jealous about, someone in AuthorTube is getting jealous about someone in BookTube, just sort of like racking up the subscribers every day, having whatever, like, I don't know, let's say 40 new subscribers every week or something like that. You just have to remember that BookTube is a lot bigger. And so it's not apples to apples or anything. It's more like apple to 10 apples. So
that's a really good point. That's why I've kind of changed my sort of focus in my sort of like Instagram and stuff. I'm focusing more on posting more reviews and stuff like that because I want to sort of attract the bookish people, not necessarily the authors, because I want the readers to come in. So I'm kind of trying to sort of twist slightly in that direction, or to go and kind of tap into that. So see how that works out.
Which is smart, I think, because your the AuthorTube community, some of those people might become your readers also, but you can't bank on them becoming your readers. They're your peers. They become your friends. They're like coworkers, kind of.
And you just stay in the same circle. Your circle never seems to expand.
So if you're looking for an audience to buy your books, some of them will, just like some of your friends will, and some of your family will. But you can't count on your AuthorTube community to be the buying of your books. You can't bank on that. Some of them will, some of them won't. You need to go out and find that audience that is wanting to buy your stuff. Barrett.
quick point. I love that. That's true. What I would say is this: if you're going after Authortube people as an Authortuber, find your crew. And I would have said tribe, but we're not using that anymore. But that term, your core of people, 10 to 25 people that you can count on that are going to show up for you every single video. The reason they're important is you need the likes, the comments, and the algorithm. Once you have those people coming to your stuff and you go to their stuff, then it's just the algorithm growing you over time. And it's a numbers game. The bigger you get, the more people you reach, and then the more wider that audience is. Think of those core people as your street team. They're really your friends and your peers, but they're your hype people. They're going to go out to their audience and say, hey, my friend's doing this book. Bethany just did it this week with Hannah Palmer. Or so did Richard. I saw it on his channel. But we do that for each other, right? Where it's like, oh, someone's book just came out. I'm going to go promote it for them to my audience. Maybe 2 of my Instagram followers will say, I'm going to buy Hannah's book. That's a success, right? Because that's a connection she wouldn't have had otherwise. So that's what I'd say about the if you're going to target writers, think of it in that vein. And it won't burn you out as much.
We're peers, we're friends. We're gonna look out for each other. We're gonna hype each other up. We're gonna support each other. We go to each other's. I always see Charliee in my streams. We go to each other's videos and hit that like button. I go to Barrett's live streams. I go to Michael's. Michael, they invite me on too. Same thing. I always see Richard there. So, and this is how we help each other out, by showing up.
Yep, agreed. And Eva said your success on social should be separate goal from your readership. I don't disagree. I think it's a way to expand it, right? So I always think of it as an expander. You know, your readership's one thing, and the social media is gravy. It's extra.
It's what you said before about the 1% ratio or something.
Right, 1 to 2%. Yeah.
Wait, this turned positive. We were supposed to be talking about jealousy. How did we do that?
I know. It's
our one chance.
Positivity I'm accused of.
Our one chance to be really juicy and spicy and go in on it about the jealousy, and we turned it into a positive. How?
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I'm jealous of all of you.
I'm jealous of you too.
You too. It now becomes like the way we hug each other online. I'm jealous of you.
I'm jealous of you. I'm so jealous of you. Yeah.
You know what we should do if we were smart about this? We would fake some giant feud between. So every once in a while, 2 or 3 of us small channels would pick one another and feud and make videos about it and blow up and grow. And that would be really smart. But we haven't figured out how to do that.
Romeo and Juliet, Authortube.
Yes.
Oh exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
What was that? Sorry.
We should create drama.
Yes.
What?
I'm in on that.
See, right? Like reality. I mean, guys, it's like reality TV. That's what we need here. Like, I want to see the next collab, like sumo suits, us just like running into each other with those giant suits and see who can win.
We'll have to fight over the crown.
I'm not giving up the crown.
Oh, then we're all just going to be jealous of Barrett because he will not give up the crown. Why does Barrett always get the crown?
I know. Always the bride. That's not how that goes. Yeah. So okay, that one wasn't as spicy as I thought. Eva had one that I threw in that was kind of spicy.
Oh yeah, let me click on Eva's because that was good.
Because it is kind of a thing.
Authortube events created to promote community have become less inclusive.
I agree with this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say.
Can we talk about the World Wide Write-a-thon yet? Can we say that we're doing that?
Yeah, we are doing it,
Yeah.
and I think that they have done the best they can to keep it inclusive.
Agreed.
I love I wish I could be on everybody's stream. Like, there's parts that I'm like, oh, why are we limited to 2? Because then I feel bad because I've already had to turn people down. But they want to be more inclusive. They're like, reach out, meet more people, and of course they'll open it up. But it goes into a drawing. Just was saying that how many people applied, and I'm thinking, oh well, I'm not going to get picked. It's just it's too many people. So the fact that I got picked is totally random. I can't say I got picked because Jess likes me the best. She doesn't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, same.
She probably likes Barrett the best, but that's okay.
Nope.
Everybody likes Barrett the best.
She doesn't even know my name. Yeah, I've annoyed her on the Discord, so.
Oh no.
But no, what I would say about www, and you guys are in that Discord, so you see this too. I think when I looked at that spreadsheet, what surprised me the most was that I think everybody did a really good job of kind of being purposeful with who they asked to come on with them too. Like I think all the panels looked really diverse, and that was cool. Oh. So, and I brought the one who brought me, so that's why Mia came to be with me online.
Yeah, and I shook things up a little bit because I have people that I'm always comfortable streaming with, and I always go to them first. And this time, I kind of did something a little different. Of course, it's people that I stream with, but not the ones that I stream with every single worldwide write-a-thon, because it's just, I was like, I still know all of you guys, of course. I adore Barrett, but I didn't go to my go-tos first, which made me a little nervous because I know how it's going to go if I'm on the worldwide write-a-thon with them, if that makes sense. So.
Oh wow, Carrie, that's an interesting
chaos.
So let me.
Hey,
yes.
At the end of the day, it's once again what Richard said, where you want to expand outside of your circle, from the marketing perspective. 2, because you want to be inclusive as much as you can, and 3, because you want to meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I'm guilty of this one. This one's me.
Some Authortubers expect support and generosity as a rule and punish those who don't offer it.
Wait.
I don't think I do vague hating, but I definitely be like, okay, they don't want to do stuff with me, and I just let it go. I'm just like, go where you're celebrated kind of person.
Yeah. I'm very passive aggressive like that.
Yeah, you have to sort of read between the lines, right? I mean, let's say you're doing a live stream and you're having a bunch of guests, and you're reaching out and someone says, oh, I can't make it, but then really says, oh, I really want to stream with you, and then such and such, can we do it another time or whatever?
Yeah.
Then it really just means they are busy that day, and then if someone just kind of says, no, thank you, or, something like that. And there's nothing after that, then you kind of say, okay, well, maybe it's not meant to be.
Yeah. And it has to be fine. And sometimes you might think, oh, they don't like me, but maybe they really were busy, but they communicate different.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they'll reach out later. And I feel like if I was salty about something and they really were just busy and they just communicate different, then I feel bad when they come up later and are like, oh, hey, you still want to do something? I'm like, oh, I thought you didn't like me, but fine. Sure.
So I totally, I totally get that. When I first started streaming, I asked someone to stream with me, and then I got left on red for like 3 months. And then they said, sorry, hey, I've been busy. Do you want to stream with me on my channel instead? And I was like, oh my gosh, wait, you don't hate me? Well, hopefully they didn't hate me because I was still like commenting on their videos and things like that because I liked watching the videos. So I commented. But yeah.
But that could be another thing, right? Because just because of like the platform or the social media platform you were sending the message on, like if you were following them and they weren't following you, and then the message wasn't getting through, or it was just going to a folder, a message request folder, right? In the case of Instagram,
that happened to me for the first for months. Finally, someone said, I sent you a message. I'm like, no, you didn't. And I actually looked, and there was a whole list of people that I never messaged back.
Yeah.
Like, doing over like platforms that always like update and have different places for things can get so confusing, especially when you're trying to meet new people. So yeah.
I think on Eva's, I just saw hers, and so the one above the one you just hit. Yes, I think I know what you mean, Eva, or I think I knew what you meant by that. Though I think the way I look at that is this: there's only so many hours in a day, and I'll spend the time I can watching and supporting and commenting on the people that I see online. If I haven't seen you in a while, then if I see you in my sub list and I've got 2 other people that I do see all the time, I am going to go to them first. If I have extra time.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense.
That I get.
So I
Same
think
thing when a lot of people are going live. If you've
Totally.
been in my live and I've got 5 live streams, I'm going to open up as many as I can. Usually I'll do 2, maybe 3 at the most.
Yeah.
But definitely if you were in one of my lives, I feel like you did that. Maybe you did it just because you enjoyed it, but you did something for me. I definitely feel like I want to at least open up your tab. Hey, I can't stay, but I'm gonna leave it running or lurk or whatever, even if I can't stay.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that was all I was saying.
Sure.
Right. I think I got it. I liked the point. I think it's a good one.
Barrett's not going around actively hating on people. Like he's not going in the comments
I don't
that. He's not doing
if
that.
I am, it's not me. Someone needs to tell me.
Yeah, no, Barrett's not doing anything like that. He's just prioritizing.
I do miss the collabs though that weren't live. I think though that COVID changed all that. So.
Yeah.
And yes, Bethany, 100%. That's my feeling. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yay. That was good.
That was good.
That was spicy. I'm telling you, Eva has the spicy ones too. She was bringing them tonight.
Yep. Okay. Let me see if I can grab another one.
Ooh.
Did we do this one? Which one's this? Yeah, we just did that one. And your first book probably isn't your best. What?
Can confirm.
I mean, my first book, I could probably find it. It's in a box. It's called Cat Went Shopping. It is a beautiful picture book of a cat who went shopping in Mexico. I wrote it when I was like 8.
You can't beat that title though.
I know. It's like amazing, right?
I mean, that's going to stick with me. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be like, Cat went shopping.
Yes. And the cat was orange. Yeah. So.
Oh, like Oliver, like Oliver the cat. Did you ever watch that cartoon, or was that too old for you?
Like Garfield?
Yeah. I think some kind of cat. Oliver and Company. Someone is old enough to have watched Oliver and Company in chat, I'm sure.
I do not have Goodreads.
Wait a minute. I know. What do you mean by someone's old enough to watch Oliver and Company?
No, I meant like we know Oliver and Company.
Okay.
I think Charlie's generation didn't have Oliver and Company. Like it was way before them. I think it came out like, yeah.
I was like, I definitely am that.
We're not all 500 years old like you.
I know. Me and Moses went to school together. We were friends. He was great.
So what does WP stand for? Stole 50 WP books.
I know Goodreads never delivered any book because this steam pile of turd is on my Goodreads and I can't get rid of it because it was published very briefly.
Wattpad.
Wattpad. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, listen, I've heard bad things about Goodreads forever, so
yeah.
I mean,
Goodreads is terrible for a multitude of reasons. We could be here for hours to talk about how bad that is.
Mm-hmm.
I was just never into Goodreads because it's online, and so that's another account, password, and username I have to remember.
I just use my Facebook.
I'm with you on that, Charlie.
Yeah, so I just have a book. I still like to review books, but they're like my thoughts, so that when I decide to go back 3 years later, that I have those things, and I don't have to all I have to do is open up a book, and that I can do because I can read. So
yeah.
Right.
Really technically. Yeah, I think there have been people who have had breakout books, like HP,
Sure.
and they are great at the time, but is that how good are they really? I don't, you know what I mean?
yes, like Twilight.
I think we were, yeah.
Sorry.
Look, Twilight.
100% Bethany on the Amazon reviews are crucial, though. That's true.
Yes.
Just to prove a point from earlier, I do actually own this book.
50 Shades. Oh my gosh, you actually have it. Oh wow.
it is a well-enjoyed copy. Not by me, I bought it pre-owned.
A likely story.
Yes,
What do you do with reading?
Yeah, this is why I will still do Amazon to support. I do it for the authors, because if that's the best platform you have to publish your book, I'm going to go there to support the author. So,
do you have to pay
Got a
for
real problem with reviews at the moment. They just seem to disappear or vanish for a multitude of, incomprehensible reasons. So it's a bit untrustworthy, but it is what it is, I suppose.
yeah.
So I didn't know this, but Eva's saying, so is Goodreads free? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So you don't have to have purchased to review. Is that?
Oh, okay. So when they're saying you're supporting by reviewing it on Amazon,
That's
you mean
another.
you're
You
buying?
can review on Amazon, but you won't get the verified purchase thing if you haven't bought it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And then there's a lot of people who don't do Goodreads. Like, I feel like Goodreads is more of a bookish community thing, not just a general person searching for a book who's going to just go to Amazon, click on, oh, this book looks good, click on it, and then read the reviews.
Right.
Oh my. You know what? I never read Amazon reviews. I actually, the few Amazon reviews I've read, I did not like. So I've gone to the Goodreads page instead to look at the review.
I posted the same review on both.
Yes, then there's that as well.
But see, we're the bookish community though, so we would know to go to Goodreads if we wanted to.
Yeah,
but like my husband,
reading
if my husband
Goodreads.
wanted a book, my husband's not going to Goodreads for a review. He's
I
going to be like,
I don't enjoy Goodreads just because the interface and the sort of system it's built on is just antiquated and it's so clunky. And the thing is, I suppose with it being owned by Amazon, it's like they're never going to bother to improve it because they have no need to, because it's all there already. So we just have to put up with it, I suppose.
Yeah. That's a good point.
oh yeah, and this Goodreads is owned by Amazon.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow.
That is interesting.
I didn't know that.
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, Goodreads is marketed for readers. Yep.
Oh my.
Barrett, I told you, Jeff Bezos owns the whole world from his giant spaceship.
He really does. He really does.
Yep.
But if he owns the whole world, doesn't that mean he owns nothing?
Oh, this got deep.
Yeah.
Deep.
It's too late for that.
I was going to say, someone to drop that philosophical
Michael's always
feeling
ready
in the first
for a
hour. I'm like, wait a minute. How do I respond?
I mean, you'd have to have someone coming from Mars, before you could say, oh, this is what I own, right?
His spaceship up in the universe.
Many indies do know the authors too well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do Goodreads at all, actually.
Yeah, I really don't either. So
I don't either.
I mean, I'm not a good. In fact, the only reason I go on it is for Chandra's when she does for TBRs. I go there sometimes to like find.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only reason I go to Goodreads is.
I just re-upped my, I went back to my Goodreads. I had to find my password and all of this stuff because a book club that I want to be part of, because I'm like, oh, I like these books. It's on. They're doing it on Goodreads. Like literally, they went from Facebook, which I also don't like, to Goodreads. I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna do it for that, which I haven't been on all month, so I'm way behind on that.
Crushing it.
One thing I do love about Goodreads though is the not playlist, but the section of books, their TBR list, their list of books that are all similar. Like I found that in those lists, I found things that I actually like. Whereas, sometimes when you're watching a show, you're searched up, what's a show that is good to watch when you like this show? And then you get something.
The recommendations get better the more you kind of add to the kind of algorithm, which is interesting. I've had some good ones from that. I think, like Bethany says, I use Goodreads just for my own personal sort of tracking of what I'm reading, which is quite good in that instance. But I had to turn off all the sort of social sharing of book updates because I was getting really self-conscious about it. I was thinking, what if my Twitter people see that I'm reading this? Are they going to start comment? So I just turned all that off. I just think it's just for my purposes. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just want to say
5 stars I gave this.
A note on the rejection letter. Not all depending on who you're being rejected by, not all rejection letters have suggestions. If you do have suggestions, that means in traditionally publishing that you got somewhere pretty far, and that's kind of amazing. I've only received 4 rejections, so all I have is like a link to Writer's Digest, which is kind of just, it's funny, but yeah. So, and also if you,
helpful.
I don't know, I didn't look at it.
Yeah.
But if you have dozens of rejection letters that have informations on how to improve, and you applied each and every single advice that you were given, then you're kind of like overstretching yourself almost, because it's like, well, then where does the edit stop when people stop saying things?
Oh yeah. All right.
The other quick thing I would say about the rejection letters is note that if you are going to get feedback, it definitely won't a lot of times overlap, or at least mine didn't. And I only went out to six people. So of the feedback I got from 4, it just didn't overlap at all. And this last rejection on the R&R was totally out of left field. So so I would say it just depends.
Yep.
I think also if the response is taking longer to get back to you, that it's also better, because it means that it's making it through more rounds, right? At the publisher. Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And I think, especially if if they've taken the time to give you some feedback, even if you don't think it's exactly right for you, at least consider it. And if you try something else again and you get another rejection and they don't give you feedback, go back to what they said and say, maybe try it.
Yes.
You know, and if that still does not work, their feedback doesn't work, you can always just, undo it. But if someone's taken the time to say, hey, here, and here, take a look at these, maybe not that, they've given you something probably that could be very valuable. I would say try it. I wouldn't say scrap what you had before, but see if you can make it work and see what happens. Maybe they're right. Maybe.
I'd also say, as you're querying, express that you're willing to, even though, okay, I've got this thing all edited, etc. Express that you're willing to, incorporate ideas, right, that they might want. And kind of like, just give that vibe, like you're not someone who's inflexible, right? Just kind of like, give that vibe. You're willing to change it around a bit for them.
All right, I'm just I'm going to start popping you guys' links throughout the chat. So I was just doing that really quick.
Yay!
I'm going to start with Richard's just because I had it right there. And what does Maggie say? The reason I posted this was because everyone only told me I had to do this, but then the rejection was based on the fact that I had a long-term gay couple and refused. See, that's different. That means that they don't want you to write about that representation. No.
Keep what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
if someone wants to undiversify,
or even the advice I would give after my experience, it wasn't even a diversification thing. It was just a gender. They wanted a gender switch on a character. It truly destroyed the story. So the lesson I learned in that R&R thing was, if you don't feel it in your gut, like if the change they're telling you should do isn't something that you think, I can deliver on that, and it's going to make it better, don't waste your time. That's not the right publisher, basically. It's just not a good mesh, right? So it doesn't matter people. It's the right vibe.
And even if you were to cohere to whatever they're asking you to do, it means that in the long term, things like that might happen again. And this is your career or future, what you're talking about. So you got to do what's right for you.
You want to think about that before you put on a crown with wings and hop on a live stream. So keep your career in mind at the front of your mind.
While we're doing the break, I'm going to be popping these lovely people's socials in the chat. I also want to say, Michael, do you also not have a vanity URL for your YouTube channel?
A what? Sorry?
Where it's a vanity URL where it says YouTube your YouTube / Michael CB Chen, because I couldn't find you like that. So I have to do like a regular link.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I don't have like a custom URL if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, you don't have a custom. Yeah.
Yeah, everything else should just be normal.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'll just put it in the link. It's just I do that with Charliee because for the Twitch people, I want them to know when I put in Charlie's link, if you could click on it and open it up in another tab so that you can follow them. That way, because like with me and Barrett, if you type in Vixen of Fiction, if you type in Barrett Laurie, you're gonna find us on the socials, on YouTube, and for my Instagram it'll be the Vixen of Fiction, but I think I'll still show up. Do you know what I mean? But with Charliee, I know Charliee does not show up.
I should show up though for that, right?
Yeah, like I think you do. I think you do. Yeah. But they can't do the YouTube / Michael CB Chen, unfortunately.
Oh.
But that is okay. Yeah, when you get your URL, I don't know, do you have to have 50 or 100 subscribers? I think you have enough.
I have over 100. Yeah, you need 100, right?
Yep, you need 100.
I think so, yeah. Go ahead and...
I think you have to go into your account, and I think you have to go into your account and actually change that.
Yeah,
okay.
And then custom.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you're ready, Michael.
I've already got 90.
And do it as something that links to all of them, so it's easy to match.
It's very easy to be Michael CB Chen, and everybody will know because they'll all be the same. Yes. So yeah, that was Charlie's. I will put in Michael's link while we're on our break. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in about, what should we do, 15 minutes, guys? Or y'all want to do, is 15 good?
I'm good, whatever, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Let me see if I can do the timer again. Of course, if the timer doesn't work, I will just put in the time for you guys to be back and join us. Okay?
Got it.
You guys know how we do.
We know.
All right, break time. Sprint, get something to drink, do some writing, whatever you need to do, go ahead and do it. And really quick, thank you, Just In Case, for the follow. Thank you, Barrett, for giving out a gift sub. That is super awesome. And
Eva gave out 3 at the beginning. Eva.
Oh my gosh, Eva did too. Yeah, I'm looking. Oh my gosh, thank you, Eva, for giving out 3 gift subs. I appreciate you guys so much. I was 2 away from being able to unlock another emote, so yay! I get to put another emote up, guys.
Yay!
So be looking forward to that. I'm very excited. And Amber Song, thank you for the subscription. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yay.
Let us take a quick break. As I pop in, remember, follow everybody. Their links will be somewhere in the chat. Okay? And let me pull up. This timer doesn't even... It's like you're not taking a break. I don't know what you think. But we're going to try. All right. Let's see what kind of timer we get. Does it go or does it stop after 2 seconds? And I'll see you guys back in a few minutes.
It could leave us on a cliffhanger.
Ooh.
Okay, my fabulous co-host, are you ready?
Yep. Did we lose a host?
Did we lose the host?
Am I there now?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Hello.
All right. Like, I could hear you guys saying, did we lose the host? I'm like, no, I'm right here, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
And then you got no answer?
I'm like, are y'all ignoring me? I was like, why? What did I do?
That could be an unpopular opinion right there.
Yes. What do you do when everybody that you brought to co-host with you ignores you on live? I tried to go back during that sprint to grab Richard's unpopular opinions, and it won't give me the chat box because I think it's still processing. So I was like, no. So I had to try. I was trying to scroll through the video trying to grab them. I think I got this one. Audiobooks and podcasts don't count.
Yeah, I do.
They are a distraction.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Audiobooks are great. What?
That's what I think.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I have a confession to make.
Hang on. You're muted. All right, Richard. Gotcha.
Okay, now I can defend my unpopular opinion.
I may have muted you on purpose. No, I'm just kidding.
It wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Oh, I've been cancelled by the host.
Cancelled.
Well, and that's before I put pineapple on a pizza. Audiobooks for me are a bit of a non-starter. But I think historically, I used to have an Audible subscription. I used to get the books, and the trouble is, I would listen to them in bed and probably fall asleep and lose my place. So it kind of never really went anywhere. But I just think the trouble with audiobooks is there's just too much distraction everywhere. I know distraction's a bad thing, but I think when you're reading like a paperback book, like if you're sitting with a book like this, especially this book, wow, and you just have to concentrate. I just think audiobooks, for me, might not be for everyone else. They're just a bit passive, if that makes sense. You're just soaking it up. But with a paperback book, you've got to actually read it and kind of concentrate, if that makes sense, and devote the time. So that's kind of what doesn't particularly work for me. But your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Have you ever dropped a physical book on your face before? I have.
And my iPad
When's
also.
which book? If it's like The Stand, by
reading it and just fall asleep. Yes.
I don't think I've done that.
I've actually kind of stopped reading in bed lately, because I'm getting on. I'm not quite into Barrett territory of ancient fossils.
Who is?
But I tend to read more during lunch or just at the weekend. But bedtime's kind of that place is for sleep. This place is for work. Office is for work, and my sofa is for reading, chilling with a book, etc. So I kind of have those very strict kind of. This place is for this task or activity, and that's kind of just how it's worked out the last little while, I suppose. I'm weird, I know.
I'm going to defend all of the audiobook and podcast people. I have always got a lot of things going on. So it's not a distraction. It's something that's added. I can't day nap. So when I'm really tired, one of the things I can do.
I could say that.
I cannot day nap. It doesn't matter how tired I am.
I can't.
Because my brain tells me there's a million other things I need to be doing. But I can put on an audiobook and lay down and rest my eyes. That's another thing. I suffer from migraines and other things where I can't physically read all the time because it hurts. And I also have dyslexia, so
Yeah.
I can't. The more tired I am, the worse the dyslexia is. So there are times when I will literally read a book with the audio going on because I want to.
That's interesting.
I love it, actually, especially when there's a good narrative. Give me a book that's got a good narrator. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So that's one thing. When I need to day nap and I can lay down and close my eyes and listen to an audiobook. I will not fall asleep. It doesn't matter how relaxed I am. But what it tells my brain is like, oh, we're doing something. So I can stop thinking about the 9 million things I'm not doing while I'm laying down.
Yeah.
So I can actually let my body rest, even if I can't sleep, because my brain is like, we're doing something.
I do think I need to try again, maybe. So I think the trouble is, as I've kind of got on, I'm very much I think I've talked about this before, a project monogamist. I focus on one thing at a time. I give it my sort of full attention, do it, finish, next thing. It's a very sort of like linear thing for me. So yeah, if you can have it in the background while you're doing stuff, then that's really good. And I know a lot of people that go for walks and enjoy like an audio book or podcast.
Yeah. And there are times though when I don't absorb what I'm hearing, and I'll feel like I missed something, and I just go back. There's a thing that you can just rewind the last few seconds, because one of my kids will start talking to me, or just something else will go on. The audiobook is still going, and if I don't remember to hit pause or take out my AirPod, if I take it out, it stops the book.
I remember
But just little tricks to help me. But I do sometimes I do have to rewind, because you don't absorb it the same as when you're reading it. That is.
I think it depends on the book too. I remember I was listening to an audio book, like a non-fiction audio book, and I was spending more time making notes of timestamps, thinking, I've got to remember that bit. That's quite a good bit. That's a good bit. I'm thinking, I should just look at the book so I can like get highlights or whatever.
So
that was good. That actually didn't mean I was paying attention to it.
Interesting. I've heard the exact opposite. If you read, I found some people, well, I don't read nonfiction, or I don't have nonfiction audiobooks, but I've talked to a couple people and they've said to me that they prefer to read fiction audiobooks than nonfiction audiobooks, because I suppose, I don't know, nonfiction audiobooks, I guess, drop into the realm of podcast. I don't say that my podcast is reading though. I'll say I'm reading an audiobook, but I won't be reading a podcast. Because to me, podcast is TV.
Yeah, I think a podcast is like TV that I don't have to watch, because the same thing. I'm doing other things. Even when I'm watching TV, I'm not watching TV. I'm listening to it. Which is why if I click on something that looks interesting and it's in a foreign language, I'll usually not keep watching it unless I can actually sit down and physically, because I need to read what they're saying. So as I do like to watch foreign films, but sometimes I have to actually have time to sit down and read them. Basically, is that considered reading then? But yeah, usually I don't consider podcast reading, but I don't knock anyone who is, listening to podcasts, especially if you're like me and you've got a lot of things to do and you're like, I want to hear this podcast, but I don't have time. I've got to walk the dog, then get the house squared away and this and that. And I've got to get my routines ready for work. And, if I don't listen to it while I'm doing these other things, I'm not going to have time to listen to it. So,
yeah. Also, I don't know about your, how you were listening to audiobooks, but I listened to audiobooks through my library, and on that app I have like this really, I don't know if you can see any of that, but it's like this really nice function where it's a sleep timer. So yeah, I've never used this as a sleep timer though. You have options to have it on for 5 minutes after you start listening, or 15 minutes, all the way up to 90 minutes. But for me, it's more like when I'm on my way to an appointment and I really don't want to start listening to this audiobook and I don't have the willpower to shut it off. But I have my appointment, so yeah.
I think the trouble is, for me, I find there is just so much media to consume these days. You've got sort of, streaming, you've got TV, you've got books, you've got films, you've got games, you've got everything. I just kind of can't keep up with it and still do my sort of, normal stuff. So I thought, I made like a sort of conscious decision, I'm going to focus on physical books or reading books. So that's kind of where I've kind of sort of specialised in a way in terms of the media.
It's a very nice change.
I honestly, I do not watch. This might be a really unpopular thing, but I do not watch TV at all.
I think we need that one.
Barrett's raising his eyebrows and thinking, "This guy's alright, weirdo." Then
No, I know a lot of people that don't watch or watch very, very little TV. I used to watch very, very little TV also, almost none. And didn't really start watching until the internet, because then I could just really watch only what I want to watch, if that makes sense.
I think the trouble with the sort of Netflix thing is there is such a volume of it. It's like you're supposed to watch it, then next thing, watch it, next thing, watch it. There's no time to kind of sit back, think about it, sort of process, like watch it. Okay, yeah, that was great. Like next thing, you've got your queue is so long, you kind of think you're not really wanting to sort of savor it in a way. You just think, right, next.
Yeah,
so,
everything is like a long movie.
I used to watch TV more when it was cable. Because
you had to sit down and think, this time, and this is on, I remember in the UK, it's Simpsons,
TV dictates my time. I can't have TV dictating my time. No.
No, for Netflix, I don't watch Netflix as much as I ever watched cable TV, because on Netflix, you have one I just don't find a purpose to watching one season of a show if the next season is either canceled or the next season comes out in a year.
This is true.
Yeah.
I can't argue with you there.
Okay.
But I can pick. What I like about things like that is that there might be only 3 things that I want to watch, but I can space out over a month or two the only 3 things that I want to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think the last thing I watched was last month, and I think that was when or actually before last month, but I started binging, after Shadow and Bone. I did watch that, and I watched that very quickly. But see, and then I didn't watch anything until Lucifer, because everybody was talking about Lucifer, and I was like, it was on the network, and I stopped watching it because I didn't like anything dictating my time. So I binged that, but that took a while to do, and I was watching it with my husband, so that's just something that we could watch together, and nothing else. I haven't picked up anything else, but that's how I watch. It's like, if I see something I like, I will watch that, and then that's it.
Michael?
Actually, I was just going to say, what this makes me think about is how, like, in terms of actual brain function, like reading words, reading words and listening to them are actually 2 different things, right? So even if, say, you have a book, right, and you have the physical copy of it and you have the audio book, really you're kind of like doing that one thing, but if you choose one or the other, like it's one or the other actual skill, right? If you are really used to reading traditionally, but you're not used to listening to audiobooks at all, you can actually find it pretty difficult to pay attention and to sort of like process the words, because you can hear them, but like in terms of, again, the actual brain function, the actual skill of taking those words and turning them into sentences and ultimately stories, it takes actually some practice. And then also with TV, it's another thing, because with TV you have the picture or the video, and then you have the auditory as well. And maybe that's we're all surely used to watching TV, right? Because we've all been watching since a young age. But maybe that's also just easier because you're getting more input. But yeah, I don't know. I I think I would listen to audiobooks just on the premise that like they would help me for that particular skill of just basically being able to listen and only listen to a story and actually interpret it.
Interesting.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that this is true. People who have issues with their vision or whatever, like I do, I think sometimes it will come more naturally because the listening is the way that you have to absorb that. So for me, when I did start getting migraines and having some other, just with dyslexia as well, I just powered through because of my age. Having dyslexia back in the 90s was just like,
good luck.
Well, yeah, basically. So I had to read. And then once audiobooks were introduced to where I had access to them, I was like, oh, I can listen to the audiobook and read, and it will just alleviate my eyes so much, and it will be so helpful. And it was. And so I had to learn, I guess maybe I had to learn, or something that it got better over time, where I was more easily able to immerse myself into an audiobook than maybe someone who is used to reading all the time because visually they can. Then only listening, they're like, I'm only listening, but I don't see what it is. So there are some differences.
I think in terms of reading also, when I do reading, I don't like read a couple of pages here, a couple of pages. I have to sit down and dedicate a block of time to it. And I think all the times with audio stuff, my commute to work's only ever been a 10-minute walk.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Me. So that's not really enough time to kind of get into it, enjoy it for a bit, then kind of think, okay, now we're switching over to work time or whatever it may be.
Well, in the States, you can have, I think about my family in Chicago that would be on the train an hour and a half round trip each way, or you know what I mean? Like all day.
That's intercity here, an hour and a half. That's nice.
But the other thing I would say, so two real quick, and then we'll get off of audiobooks. We'll move to the next one. But I think audiobooks are great. My husband's dyslexic, so for him, it's like a lifesaver.
I know it was an unpopular opinion.
There'd be no reading. Well, I'm just saying, for my husband's not read anything of mine because there's not an audiobook of it. And so that's it. But the one thing I would say I turned him on to, that I would turn on other people who are dyslexic as a storytelling idea. I've gotten him into fiction podcasts, and he's obsessed with them. So he got into them and then sort of found his own and got into it because it was serialized like Bella or like a TV show. So it was like characters he could get immersed with. And then again, they were short. So it's like a chapter, it's shorter. So I don't know, for anybody out there who has dyslexic family members, try fictional podcast. Oh, Bethany, I didn't even know that about you.
Totally agree.
Your husband speak of the devil. So yes, exactly. So
yeah. If you have any issues with reading or visual issues that make it difficult for you to audiobooks, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's just
that's just game changer.
And I think it goes to what Michael said. It's a different part of the brain, so it works. I don't know what that is, but it works.
Yeah.
Okay, we may have driven that one into the ground, guys.
Yeah, I think so. I was in
Pick another one.
Whoops.
I would admit defeat there.
It's okay.
But I love that one, Richard. That was why I love that one. It was actually more spicy because I think it's very personal to
Yeah, and I've heard this before too. From
me too.
People
all the time.
Not interested in having a discussion about it. They're just like audiobooks is like cheating or something.
Oh, my mom.
It's just like not really reading, and it's
doesn't
just
float my boat.
Bethany Votas, yes. 100% yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the key right there. I think one is necessary and the other makes it better. The chef's kiss.
Yeah. So I've also read books that are kind of abstract, so there's no progressiveness to them.
Yeah.
But you still read them because it's just the little snippets are entertaining. That's what draws you in. But okay, I left because I wanted to show y'all this book. It is my favorite book. It's one of my favorite books. It's called Lincoln in the Bardo.
Okay.
And it's about George Lincoln's son who died.
Okay.
And so the Bardo is like limbo.
Oh, okay. In between.
It is a literary book. It is for someone who hates multiple POVs. At first, I was really nervous, but I actually love it. It is, yeah. The story is composed of like historical excerpts, and every line is in a different character's point of view. Every single line
Of the book?
Of the book. There's repeating characters, but yeah, there's like each like dialogue has the name of the person speaking right underneath it.
Well, it's like a play. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I'm
but
thinking. It looks
there's
very
action scenes and stuff like that. There's action tags and description, and yeah, I
I'm
love
just
it.
curious.
Yes.
You have piqued my curiosity on that.
Oh yes, and yes, Bethany, to the good and enjoyable. You did say it earlier, and yes, I saw it then too. That's also true. I think.
Yeah.
That's true. True. And what's palatable to you won't be palatable to me, or you know what I mean. Your thing may not be my thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
Another thing I think is that maybe there is such a thing as sort of like what the author is shooting for with the book, but then there's also the fact that the world itself changes, right? And the world, in just the last 100 years has changed so much that naturally books have also, and what people want from books also. Like if you think about music, for example, so-called classical music, as it's pigeonholed now, is thought of, in 2021 as relaxing, romantic, or et cetera, whatever you want to call it. But the composers in those days were not trying to compose relaxing pieces or works or romantic ones or anything like that. Actually, they were trying to compose the most exciting, the most innovative, entertaining, etc. Works that they could, that would, bring people, admittedly higher class people, but people to the concerts. They were trying to, basically show them a good time, so that they themselves as composers could live off of their occupations and make money, right? So it's kind of like that, I think, also with literature. I mean, if you want to say, okay, Shakespeare is too quaint or something like that, or Dickens or whatever it might be, Jane Austen, you would also have to incorporate how much the world has changed since those times. Right?
Language and
and what is expected of literature, of books, etc. Just like with music.
No, I think that's 100%. That's what all I would have said about that is taking the books in context of the time. Because I agree. You couldn't compare F. Scott Fitzgerald to Jane Austen for their prose, because it would be different just stylistically for what would be a bit of
this gets on a little bit to another thing. I think it's okay not to read the classics, because the classics may be to a contemporary audience less palatable as books. And some people would probably struggle with Shakespeare now. I mean, people wouldn't.
Or struggle with you might struggle with Beowulf, even though it's a very interesting story. It's hard to read.
Right.
Yeah. This is where the podcasts come in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's because our language has evolved in the time since it was published then. And today we have a different sort of set of standards.
I've never read Jane Austen.
I enjoy Jane Austen. I can see how it would be very antiquated for some people, but I don't know. I like to read it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I'd say it was the most fun of my historical literature classes in college. Those were fun. Like Emma was fun. Sense and Sensibility was fun.
Yes, Sense and Sensibility is still one of my favorite books. I love it.
Same. Some of the other ones they made me read though, Charlie, I'm not as fun at all. Did not fall in the fun category. Fell in the prose category.
Yeah, I won't say some of the ones that I didn't enjoy because I think that other people
Get
did.
mad about them and weird. I said something bad about Moby Dick like many videos ago, and I literally took the video down because people acted like they'd stolen their child or something.
I was this close to saying the one that I didn't like, and then when you said that, I was like, oh gosh, nope, keeping my mouth shut.
No, like,
yeah, the only Jane Austen book. Oh gosh, this is bound to get me some hate. But okay, I own 2. I own Love and Friendship, and I adore it.
Oh, I love that.
It is. I've never read it, but the cover is so beautiful, and it's like felt, and I love it. The second Jane Austen book that I own is not actually written by Jane Austen. It's a parody. It's called Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah,
And
that was pretty big just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I got it for like $2 at a thrift store, and then realized that it has a movie. So I didn't read that book either, and I watched the movie, and I was like, these girls like fighting zombies in the 1800s.
Yeah.
See?
I agree, Eva.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, like what was the point? What happened?
Oh yeah, no, I did disagree with Maggie on one. I was with her on everything except on Joy Luck Club. At least on Joy Luck Club, she had to make a couple of decisions by the end. It wasn't just taking her mom's seat at the table. I don't know. That one I loved, and we'll fuss with you over Maggie. But the others you can take. They were nothing. We just followed them around pretty locations.
Yeah. Yep. Visual media has completely changed literature, despite all the academia refusal to admit it.
I think it's because at university, I studied creative writing at university, and there was such a sort of dichotomy between people like me who wanted to learn how to write genre fiction. It's like, oh no, you've got to try these fancy forms of writing, put the proper writing, the literal, proper literature, sort of stuff. And I just didn't get it. I remember I went into a lecture and they literally said to me, oh yeah, Dan Brown and J.K. Rowling, they're terrible writers, but they sell. I'm thinking, what's the problem there? But I think there's a lot of from the kind of literary circles, there's a bit of condescension. So people just want to have fun with a book, enjoy it, read it, put it on the shelf. Next one, please. And yeah, I just don't really like that. To see it's needless kind of almost elitism in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It grinds my gears, to be honest.
A bit like if someone is, at least in my imagination, someone's standing, you're in an art gallery and someone's standing in front of a painting that's, like 4 or 5 bands of color, applied by a paint roller. And, it's supposedly worth millions. And there's a person standing. There's a person standing in front of it. And you're standing in front of it. And the person is sort of like expressing how much they love it, almost like a way of being superior, like saying, I can see this beauty that you can't, or something like that.
And
right?
everyone else is just sort of like rolling their eyes thinking, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
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 So, through my experience at university.
Explain this to me. I don't understand this.
Yeah, the snobs have it figured out. Let's put it that way.
Really
they have their system figured out.
Wait, are we talking about the academic writing, or are we talking about the aesthetic writing?
I don't think.
I'm sorry. I was a bit behind.
This is one I copied from the.
Okay. Well,
I think that they're talking about just Authortube, like.
Oh, I get it.
Almost like branding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to say on this is that aesthetic sells. People watch vlogs for the aesthetic. That's why YouTubers will buy houses with specific lighting, and they will paint their walls a specific color. It's for the aesthetic. I'm not aesthetic, but
I'm definitely not aesthetic.
Yeah, I quite enjoy my random bits of color here. But what do you mean by skill building? Why does there need to? What does skill building have to do with with background?
I think I kind of remember this, and this one I think was in Kate's about.
Yeah, I think this is one from Kate.
And I kind of remember them talking about it being more about the like look of the background and like your B-roll. You know what I mean? Like your B-roll in your vlogs, and like do you look fancy when you're filming? Like more of that, and what you were saying, Charlie, about like who spent the most on your headers and your, so that everything looks cohesive. But like the emphasis is on that and not so much the actual writing part. Like there's never actually any writing, which the only thing I would say to this one as an Authortubers doing traditional publishing, like I don't control it, right? So like the getting stuff out or what you see of the writing isn't up to me in a lot of ways. So like, I don't know. I think you gotta be, at least if someone's on a traditional publishing path, this one doesn't seem as fair as it would for self-publishing, where they can release, you guys can release when you get your book ready and you go, right? Like, I don't know. That I think is the only difference to that I see. Does anybody make sense to anybody else?
I don't know. I think on the aesthetic part, I think if you got videos that a lot of people see the video, they like the thumbnail, then they click on the video, they like the way you look, they like your background, your YouTube then promotes you on the algorithm, you're going to get more viewers. So then when you say, hey, now my book is done, go buy it, you've got, I don't know, 10,000 people. You're going to get a percentage of that, 10,000 people to go and now buy your book. But did you spend the year or year and a half that you were writing that book, did you spend it more on your aesthetic, or did you actually spend it learning to write a good book? So how is your book actually good? But if you're people who bought it, somebody in one of the streams was saying before that they will buy books from people that they like, even if they don't necessarily like the book. So does that work?
I've done that too. I bought books for friends.
I mean, if that works, then have they done something wrong? Did it hinder their writing? If they weren't on AuthorTube, would they have written a better book? I don't know.
Yeah. It also depends on what your goal of the channel is, because if you're just doing vlogs, unless you have an aesthetic, like unless you are like an aesthetic person, then your filming's not going to be aesthetic. But then there are those people where they do a sit-down video and they film B-roll so that they're not talking straight for 20 minutes. So for that, you can afford to have pretty B-roll because, you know, like you're for 20 minutes. It's a mini podcast.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That one's,
Interesting.
Michael, I haven't watched your content yet. I just subscribed. What are you? Do you do a lot of lives or do you do pre-recorded?
Actually, I only do live streams.
Okay, you're all
for writing and reading. Yeah.
Got it.
You know, I would like to explore content creation in the future.
Yeah.
You know, I myself like watching videos in AuthorTube and watching vlogs and stuff. So, you know, definitely something I'd like to look into for myself in the future. I'm open to it.
Step 1, sell your house and move. And then invest in the same color everything.
Is that the prerequisite?
Yeah, I actually, Eva says it below, someone can be both a good writer and a good content creator. I would argue that most good content creators are good writers. Like they go together. So it's, I think the difference is the holy trinity of if you get somebody who's comfortable in front of a camera, has a modicum of charm or sense about themselves. And if they don't, they'll get it. In a year of doing videos regularly, they'll get it. They'll get their own vibe. And I think they go.
I'm taking this very personally, you know.
You what?
I'm taking this very personally.
You're doing good.
You're
It's
killing
a
it.
pleasure to talk to you.
Flash Aha is brilliant. It's a wonderful idea. Take it and run with it. It's great. Love it. You're killing it.
Do
I
that.
agree. Goats and bees are also best friends, and cats.
Yeah, pretty privilege is a thing, but if you're out here to hustle, you're doing.
Yeah. True.
You use what you can when you're trying to hustle, I guess. So
True. I told Chris, the guy I interviewed last night, he's a bodybuilder, and I said, dude, like if you want to if you want to grow your Instagram, I can tell you right now how to grow your Instagram. Like I can tell you today what you can do to grow that account.
I could do that and end my whole career.
Pretty. Oh, same. I could lose every follower and sub I have if I tried to do a topless photo tonight.
Oh gosh, no, before my daughters and I started our YouTube channel, I did have, before the music copyrights and all that became a thing, I had a fitness channel. Also,
Ooh.
thousands of views. It does not exist anymore because of all the copyrighted music. It was fine. This is literally how old I am. The copyrighted music was fine at one time until it wasn't. And when it wasn't, you better take those videos down immediately.
I didn't start watching YouTube like properly until I'd say about grade 11. Before grade 11, I just had books. And like I knew YouTube was out there, but I mean like you can't read a book on a computer. What is that? So yeah. But
again, with audio, my daughter and I were telling books or our stories. Via audio.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody, I looked at one of my daughter's old videos because I privated them all. Because I deleted mine, but I privated hers because I've got all my stuff, but I don't know at age 11 if she was saving her work. Yeah. So I didn't delete hers for that reason, just in case she doesn't have them saved anywhere. But I was telling somebody one of her videos had 188,000 views.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
For one of her videos.
Wow.
Another one had more than any of my views. Any of my videos, and she had another one that had 90. I said 95. She goes, "No, mom, it had 99,000." I went back and looked at Charliee was 99,000 views. I was like, "Show off."
You know what? I know you privated all those videos for a reason, but like now I really want to know all this.
Oh,
stuff.
I'm dying.
She had some really kind of like. One of them, I don't think she can post it anymore because it was a story about a revenge about the A word at school. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on Twitch, but Are you allowed to say bullying? Are we allowed to talk about
say bullying?
Okay, it was about that. So it was a revenge video, and then she had one that was a mystery, and I love this mystery story. But I don't want to give away her stories because I want her to go back and write them. But yeah, I want her to go back and write them.
I have a formal request. Can we get a video where your daughter just story tells for us?
Yes.
I am working on it very carefully. She's not on the stream today. I just checked. Let me double check to make sure she's not, because I will embarrass her and scare her away. She comes on. She's not on here today. She comes on sometimes. She watches sometimes. I think a couple of times she's even dotted into somebody else's stream. But I don't want to ever call her out because she's at that age where I'm not that cool. I'm barely cool. So I don't want to mess that up. But I am.
You're shredded cool.
I am passively, actively trying to pull her into the writing.
Got it.
So if you understand where I'm coming from, so I don't want to do or say anything that will scare her away.
We totally understand. We'll just sit here waiting for her debut, and then we'll just buy everything.
You and me. She just told me 2 more story ideas this week, and I'm just I said, "Can you write that?" And she goes, "I just told you the idea, Mom. You write it." I'm like, this is my life right now. Teenagers.
Typical.
It'll become important later.
Yeah, I hope so. But I definitely do want to be encouraging, because my mom is encouraging now, but my mom was not encouraging when I was my daughter's age, because she's like, oh no, you will not make money doing this. You need to go to college and do this, this, and this. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But I wish that I'd been writing and doing art when I was my daughter's age. So
I like Eva's mini Nia.
Yeah, me too. Mini Nia.
see, that would not be cool. If she was in the stream, she would run right now. She'd be like, ah! No. My other daughter likes to be called the mini me, but this one does not. The 20-year-old doesn't mind because she's 20 now. The younger one is not cool yet. I think I'm getting there.
There is like a parenting cool bell curve kind of that happens, like, you know, you're paying for my stuff and you have to, I live with you, and then you're out in college where you're still paying for their stuff, and like you suddenly get more cool again when they get into that, like, oh yeah, you're paying for my apartment and stuff, I'm getting through college.
Yeah, paying for the apartment, paying for the tuition, paying for the books. She loves me so much. She's like, Mom, I'm doing all the cool things that you're so proud of, right? I'm like, okay, yes. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. And guess where we are at? Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can. I'm going to pop up a few that we may not have gotten. If you guys see one you want to talk about really quick before we
speed round. Let's go.
I'm writing this down.
If you see,
do not take top off.
What is sing mode?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know what I'm allowed to sing.
Wait, do we have to sing? Because if so, it's a no for me.
I love to sing, but it won't be good singing, but I'll still sing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sing, but I'm just like.
Did someone request sing mode?
Well, I just see it. I see question for the audience, should I use sing mode? And then Maggie goes, not tonight. And then Beth goes,
not tonight. We don't have time for it tonight because we're getting ready to close out.
Yeah.
But sing mode is either where we sing for a few minutes or somebody has to sing a song. But I have to figure out what songs I'm allowed to sing. This is Twitch, so I think they're a little bit more lenient. Like YouTube one time got me for singing 2 lines of a song. I'm like, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard.
Really?
For YouTube, it's 10 seconds.
Okay. You can't judge a book by the first chapter, or NaNoWriMo is toxic for Authortubers and writers. Oh gosh.
Yes, that one.
You need to stick to one genre.
No, you don't.
No, you definitely don't need
fanfic writing is good and can be better than original writing. That was one from Alexis. Which one you guys want to tackle before we go?
Before we do, I just want to say that Eva's voting has just reminded me of Among Us, and like they saved us, so like okay.
Yeah, did we do a poll? Were we gonna do that?
You know what? I have this.
It's late.
I have Twitch open right now, but I can.
Yeah. Nope on the one genre. I agree. What was the spicy one in there though? One of those was kind of spicy. I thought that it was at least
NaNoWriMo.
Was it the NaNoWriMo?
Oh, I think it was the Nano. I think it was the Nano. Yeah, take that one. Right. Somebody go with that.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
It's too
I don't think it's toxic. I don't use the web, but then again, I might be hypocritical because I don't use the NaNoWriMo website. I just.
I don't either.
It's like.
I don't know.
As I said, it's another.
I'd say it'd be. Oh, sorry, Charlie. Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be toxic if you were in the mentality, okay, I've got to write these 50,000 words. I've got to write them in this month. They've got to be, the entire book, all of that, even if you're ready to go, in mid or late October and you're purposely not going just, so you can write the book in Nano. I think that sort of really rigid in the box thinking would be toxic. I say use NaNoWriMo as sort of like gravity slingshot, like you're a spaceship and you're Voyager 1 or 2 and you're going out into interstellar space and you've got a planet like Jupiter or Neptune or something ahead of you, and you can use it for its gravity, so you can increase your velocity, then yeah, you might as well. And I think it's the same with nano. Like if it's just use it as something that
I think it's good
keeps you productive and keeps you motivated and everything. And if you can hit some milestones, then that's good too. But other than that, not to worry too much about it.
I like NaNoWriMo because in 50,000 with 50,000 words, I mean, I write when I'm in the mood, I'll just write consistently anyways. And it just, it puts my mind to something. And you're right, it is a great starter off. It's when you get to the comparison and you see the pie charts and then you're like,
quitter shaming.
Wait, but I only got 1,000 words and I didn't meet my quota for the day. Does that mean I'm a failure? That's when it can get, I think, toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to get quite anxious about it. I think these days it's just too anxiety induced. I just think it kind of promotes an unhealthy writing habit that you have to crank out so many hundreds of words a day or whatever. I just think I did it 3 times and I'm glad I did it because it kind of proved to me that I can write a long piece, but those 3 books will never ever ever see the light of day. So
yeah.
And this,
I think
no one's ever reading this ever.
Well, nano, baby.
Yeah, I think it could
You have to prise it out of my cold, dead hand.
I think it could be toxic, as some of the other people have been saying. It depends on how you do it and what you're capable of. If you know that 50,000 words in a month is going to be a struggle for you, it might not be the best thing for you to do it. Or alter the goal. That's one of the reasons I think I like the camp nanos better than actual nano, because you can set your own goals. And other people have said, well, you can do that too with NaNoWriMo, but for someone like me, I feel like that would be cheating because I do art and writing. So half of what I do. So I know last year for NaNoWriMo, I literally had to put all of my drawing on the back burner just to do nano. And I did it, which I thought, oh yeah, great, I did it. But I really missed the drawing. I felt a little bit set back. I don't know how to explain that.
Well, that's part of your process, right? So
it is part of my process.
Interrupted. So yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But I want the badges. I just found out that there's a badge I've been missing out on, because one of the things I would do to keep up with my goal is sometimes I could write 5,000 words in a day. So I'd write 5,000 words in a day, update, and then I wouldn't have to update for the next 2 days. But there's a badge where if you hit your word count every single day, you get a badge for that. And I was like, oh no, I missed. And now you can see where it could become a problem for me. I want all the badges. Okay. That's the only reason why I use the site is for the badges and for the discounts. I want to say I got a discount on something.
Fitbit would be disastrous for you. Like you'd never sit down. You'd walk the rest of your life with badges because they have them to infinity.
Wait, what?
If you did Fitbit badges, same thing. Yeah, you'd never sit down. You just walk forever to get your Fitbit. You'd be like, why is Nina going up and down a Stairmaster? Well, she wants to get the next badge. We'd be like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, but see, the thing with those tracking systems, I didn't know that Fitbit had badges, but I did know that if I'm
about to pull out my old Fitbit
like this, I get steps.
Yep.
See, I threw away I didn't throw it away, but I put away my Fitbit years ago, and now you're making me want to pull it out because I'm like, we can do badges.
Yeah.
Badges.
The only thing
I want to win the things.
I love the badges. I'm going to say on the nano thing real quick, 2 things. One, if someone's out there and is going to make nano itself isn't toxic, but if someone's going to make it toxic by shaming people and doing silly shit, then they're going to be toxic people anyway. So I hate to tell you, but
that's a good point.
Absolutely everything you get in and do, real toxic. So just exit yourself from that as soon as you can. And then the other thing I would say as a tip that I noticed last year in Nano, I got a really great bump in views and impressions during that time because I didn't do anything Nano related. So if everybody in our community is doing Nano through November and you want to try something different that month, just a tip for me, that might be a little good thing you could try to stand out.
Because someone's looking for something that's not necessarily nano.
Right.
I can tell you in all of my subscriptions are nano videos, y'all. So some people are getting watch playlists later because it's like I can only watch 3 of them at a time before I'm like, all right, I'm nanoed out. Like I gotta come back and do it hours later because it's like watching everybody's nano process.
Yeah, there should be like one giant collab where everybody in 2 hours, everybody does a snippet of their thing so we can get it all out of our system.
If we just make, oh my gosh, a YouTube rewind, but like nano version, so it's just a collection of Authortubers struggling with.
Oh, I would actually get down with that collab.
Really? Oh my gosh.
You've got 2 days left, and you still need 30,000 words.
Right.
The meltdown that you go through. Yeah. That would see, and should we enjoy it as much as I feel like we would?
Oh, the badges.
Yeah. See, in my mind, I'm like, if you fail nano, what are you gonna lose apart from the badges, which we calibrate every year, and the donation, the deals, which also we calibrate every year. What else are you losing?
I mean, that's a good point. You ain't wrong.
I'm literally just there for the badges.
Yeah, for me, if anything, I'd be losing because apparently NaNoWriMo is a very, as you mentioned, Barrett, is a very heavy NaNoWriMo blog time. So if anything, I'd just be losing a couple of views or maybe a subscriber or two.
Maybe.
But
You might gain some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. We've got to get ready to close it out because it's now after 10. We've been here for our 2 hours. How did you guys get everything that you wanted to say out? If anybody has any closing thoughts on anything that we discussed, and I'm going to pop up one more banner because I just Barrett had wrote this in the chat one day, and
Let's get in trouble.
No. Nobody gets in trouble for
Drum
anything.
roll, please.
I know. I'm like,
He just said all he said was Authortube shade, and then in the comments here, Eva earlier was talking about clicks, and these are some of the other things. People are like, "Oh, Authortube's so toxic, and small accounts don't grow." We could talk about this one day. Just
all clicks.
Just Authortube, just some Authortube shade, because we're all a part of Authortube. We can shade it a little.
True.
We could do that one day.
Please invite me on. I'll come back. I'll find a different
way. All right. So let's go ahead and do our outros. You guys can tell people where they can find you. And remember, I have linked everybody in the description. And if you go back to the YouTube one, I've linked everyone in the chat. Ooh, it's getting late. I linked everyone in the chat here. So if you scroll back to the chat, you'll find everybody's links. And I will try to get their links and put in afterwards. I've got to figure out how Twitch is going to let me do all these things. But if you go to the YouTube video, everyone is linked properly there. So you can find everybody on the video there. And thank you guys so much for coming and doing another Authortubers React with me.
Yay.
It is always so much fun. And we try to get juicy, but I'm telling you, we always go nice every time we do. Oh, what is wrong with us, Barrett?
No, there's not enough mean girl in us. That's what it is. And I brought a crown tonight. I was ready.
Yes.
I was ready.
Yes.
I was ready to off with their heads.
Okay. Next time, we need a banner that's just mean girl time.
Yeah. We can't say anything nice about this topic. We just have to go well in.
That's a good challenge. Nothing nice can be said for the next 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute hate sprint. Go.
Here's my mean thing for the night. I'm so jealous of that crown. I hate you with all my heart.
I'm so jealous.
This is what I've been waiting for my whole life, Charlie. I will rest plus sleep like a baby tonight.
That was just mean.
One person out there who is just pining for this crown off of my head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna start a revenge story that's gonna become reality, and it's gonna be with Authortubers, and we're all just gonna fight for that crown on our birthdays.
I want to see sides. Like, I want to see people taking sides in their videos. Like, no, I'm Team Charliee. No, I'm Team Barrett. Like, really get deep with it. Like,
but Barrett, plot twist. You wake up in the morning and the crown's gone.
Well, then game on, kids. Then I'm coming for you, and well, I'll be looking for you.
Oh yeah.
Coming for the crown.
Yeah, my last thought, NaNoWriMo, this was actually me. I got those 50,000 words, but man, it was some garbage. But it was 50,000 words. I got those badges, and I got those discounts. Yay me for that garbage I've got to fix.
I told everyone how happy I was for the discounts, but I never used them. So I need to do NaNoWriMo again this year so that I get those discounts, you know?
It's getting a real cheap from it.
I used the wrong one. I was like, am I going to do Scrivener or am I going to do World Anvil? I was not ready for World Anvil. But I got World Anvil. So I'm doing Scrivener next time. But I think I'm going to stick with World Anvil because now they just did the summer camp and everything. So I'm like, oh, now I know what I need to be doing. This is very helpful. Too bad I just used up most of my subscription, not knowing what to do with World Anvil. But yeah, so.
It's like you chose beta instead of VHS, huh?
Exactly.
But World Anvil is great. It's exactly what I want. I'm not ready for all of these things.
I think Barrett is more of a rat cylinder kind of guy.
I still haven't figured out Discord, so.
You need to get on the Discord, Barrett. We need you in there.
Oh, I'm struggling through it.
Discord is the struggle of my life. I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning to try and treat it like the chat room. Someone said treat it like a chat room from back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, when I'm like, okay, so that's what's been helping me. Just treating it like a chat room, but I still feel like my friends are all over the place. They're not all in the same place. But even with the chat rooms, I would be in 3 chat rooms, but all my friends would be in those 3. All my friends are in like 90 different separate Discords. I don't know where they're at. And they're like, oh yeah, I mentioned that in the Discord. Which Discord? And I'm like, let me go find it.
I know. Yeah. I'm just. Somebody's like, are you on that server? And I said no. And they were like, well, you can have up to 100. And I was like, why would I want 100? Like, how would I want to do 100?
What am I gonna do?
I'm like, I have like 4, and I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. I should have stayed at 4, but I want to be on all of my friends' Discords because they send me invites and I love them so much. So I want to be, but I don't know where everybody's chatting. And sometimes they're not even chatting in their Discord. They're chatting in someone else's. So
and
the struggle is real.
If you use Discord on your phone
and you
put notifications on, and then you don't click on your and you don't click on the notification to open up your phone, then once you're in Discord, all my notifications just disappear. So I have no idea, because all you see is the name unless you like actually read the title of which server the person belongs to. So I'm like, wait, where did this person say this? Like, it's gotten to the point where I've blamed people like, oh, I thought this was really interesting and I want to follow up, like be your beta reader or something, but can you just tell me where you posted this notice? Because I can't find it.
Yeah, that has happened to me so many times. I'm like, there's a notification, but where?
The problem I have is that I'll have it on my computer, I'll have the notification going ping, ping, ping. So I'll turn it off on my computer and then my phone starts going off and so I'm like, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yes. Anybody else with any final thoughts before we close out?
This is a final thought. Yes.
Is this the final thought? Barrett is only saying that so we don't come for the crown.
No, I am. I'm just like, I'm telling y'all, it's not as comfortable as you think. It's heavy, and I have an indention in my head that I'm pretty sure is there for life.
You know what, though? I just want to point out that those wings are also really nice. So I could totally like trade you for the crown for the wings. If I'm down with that, we can do a trade.
You will, if I can get you on Critique Group Live, I will send you wings as a thank you. That's what I'm going to start doing to guest hosts, is sending wings, except for those in the UK because it's too expensive, Richard. Sorry. I'm a girl on a budget. So I'll send it to Canada, but no, bridge too far going to the UK.
Yes, let's do this. poor Barrett's head. All right,
You
Charliee,
will
we'll start with
Red Bull instead.
Well, I could do that.
Okay.
I can drop ship.
We'll start with Charliee. We'll do our outros, and then we will say goodnight to everybody.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun talking to everyone and meeting Richard for the first time face to face on StreamYard. And yeah, thank you so much. I am an Authortuber here on YouTube. Charliee double spaced with 2 E's is my username, and that's me. I post every week. It's my Authortube anniversary tomorrow, and
Ooh,
I have
yay.
an Instagram. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Yay. Hi, I'm Barrett Laurie. You can just find me there on all the things. I normally don't wear a crown or rings. This is just special for Mia. But anyway, I talk about writerly things and do all kinds of stuff. So if you want to come play with me, come find me on the things. And thank you for having us. This was a ton of fun. I've enjoyed getting to know all of you. Michael, it's you, my man.
Yep. And hi, I'm Michael CB Chen, and I have an Authortube channel where I do live streams for writing and reading Fridays at 3:15 to 5:15 in the afternoons, Eastern time. Yep. Yay. Thank you.
Awesome. Richard.
Richard.
The best till last, some would say, or no, probably not. I just want to say thanks for having me. It's been fun to come on here, even though it is now 3:20 in the morning here. What a trooper I am. Oh.
You are.
I can sleep when I'm dead. This has been really fun. It's good to chat to everyone. And if you want to find me, the best thing to do is subscribe to my newsletter.
Mm.
All right, awesome. Yes, thank you guys for coming. I will be on tomorrow morning on Zara Hoffman's. Oh, I'm about to mix up my people because it's getting late for me. Not as late as it is for Richard, so I cannot complain. But I will be on Zara Hoffman's channel tomorrow morning with writings and productivity sprints. You have been on my channel here on Twitch. Thank you to everybody who followed and subscribed tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you to all of my fabulous co-hosts for coming and joining me. We will be reacting to more topics in the future. We'll probably do one early in December. I will look for a date that works best for everybody because I want everybody to be able to participate because I prefer this talking with other people to making videos. I hate making videos. It's not my thing. I like talking with people.
I like panels too.
I hear you.
Yes. So thank you guys for coming. It was so much fun. I really appreciate you. And we will say bye until next time.
Bye.